All right, peeps, just going to show you real quickly how to insert a menu, CSS navigation menu into your layout. We also did this tutorial in class, so hopefully this will jog your memory and get you unstuck if you're having difficulties with the process. So first recognize I have my layout template open, and I also have my layout CSS file open. So in order to do this, I'm going to go into the design mode, and I know that my content for the div, or excuse me, the navigation menu is going to go in this particular space here. So I'll locate where that text is in the actual HTML. Keep that in mind. I am working with the HTML portion of my site. I'm going to go out and visit Dynamic Drive. And in the Dynamic Drive site, go to the CSS codes. And here's where you can find all the different codes, not just menus, but other codes. So I'm going to go to the horizontal menus. And the menu that we did in class is this responsive shimmering buttons menu. Right now it's number 3. It might change in order later, but I'm going to find that and click on that file. Now the demo is right here. There are 2 components to the menu. Number 1, the styles or the CSS that are going to make this work. And number 2, the HTML code. I like to start with the HTML code first, and notice it's a very simple unordered list. Select all the code, and I'm going to copy this. Control C. I'm going to go into my HTML. Remember, I got to match that up. Am I using the HTML section or code? Copy that and paste it in the HTML document or your .wt file, which is an HTML document. And that is where I'm going to paste that text. Dreamweaver brings it in all kind of nasty. I'm going to make sure that this is nice and neat and arrange this so that I get all these menus, tabbing those over so that it's nice and clean and orderly. Clean your room, kid. Make sure that that nav menu is here, and here are the menu items. Maybe I only want 4 menus. All I'm going to do is simply get rid of this bullet, right? The LI is a bulleted item in an unordered list, going back all the way to HTML1. So I just got rid of that 5th bullet, and now I have home. Now I have in our freelance site about our company, maybe. Then I'm going to have my services link. And these can be linked to whatever pages you want them to go to. And this is going to be our contact us page. We'll come back here and we'll add the hyperlinks to these pages once we create them. But we now have essentially an unordered list in this particular nav section of my layout. Now, in order to make this turn into the navigation menu that we saw on Dynamic Drive, we have to also bring over this CSS code. And you can see it is a very lengthy bit of CSS styling. I'm going to come into here. I'm first going to grab this link. This first link is technically going to the web to gather a specific font style from a font repository that Google has available. So I'm going to copy this, and this link I will put in the head of my HTML document. Now you go up top and you can see there's already a link to your style sheet, and I'm making sure that I'm in between this head document portion of the document, and I'm going to paste that hyperlink that goes out to this website to grab specific fonts. The other thing I'm going to do is I am now going to toggle over into my CSS document and go down to the very bottom, and I've added a code, a comment code, to where the menu styles will begin, so that when I come back and look at this later, I have a very clear division of my layout here. I have a clear division of my tag selectors. My body, paragraph, and other basic tags will be first. So the third section on this layout style sheet will be for my menu. And that is where I'm going to grab that CSS style, Because I'm already putting it in a CSS document, I do not need this style tag. So I'm not going to highlight that. I am going to simply select all the menu. And in most cases, Dynamic Drive assumes you are putting those styles in an internal style in the head of an HTML document. We know best practices are to put our styles in an external document. That's why I am going to only highlight and select the styles for this menu, copy, and go into Dreamweaver and paste just the styles. I did not bring the style tag over because it is not placed in the head of an HTML document. The styles are on their own CSS file. That is extremely important. And you can see that I've done that. So here, this point forward, is all of the nav menu styling to make my navigation menu work. I'm going to hit my save all so that now I've saved my CSS document and my source code. And when I come back over here, notice my menu is still here. Nothing has changed. But when I go into the design view, we can see that now this very ordinary bulleted list is actually converted into the navigation system that we saw. And Dreamweaver will not display in the design view the fully functioning menu. We must either switch to the live view to verify that that is working. Looks very good. Or, most preferred, test it in a browser so that you can see exactly how that is going to look. And you can see that my menu is taller than the blue area. The blue area is my nav section and the height of that nav section. So what I need to do is I need to expand that height. So when I go back into here and look at this layout, the height for my nav is set at 50. Well, maybe I'm going to go into here and I'm going to work this out. And let's say I'm going to try to be 75. And I don't want a background color because the background color will simply be white, where the menu is going to be placed on top of it. I'll go back into my source code, look at the white. Now it's starting to look better. So I have my menu here, and it now is perfectly lining up in my site. So my hope is, ladies and gentlemen, that helps remind you of how to get a menu from dynamicdrive.com, paste it into the HTML document, the URL, and the links, and then change and modify your styles. And I would be remiss if I didn't remind you to go back, and once you then use the file, new, page from site template, don't forget to go back and to modify all of these hyperlinks to point to the newly created pages that you've used the template for. All right, good luck. Hope that helps. See ya.